Good morning, Sister Deborah, prophetess in the wilderness. And you know what? That's all right with me. Coming again on this Deborah platform with another message. And I will say this is a lovely morning in which the Most High Yah has made. And I, Sister Deborah, shall and will rest therein. I'm just coming with another very short message. And this is regarding righteousness. We must search for righteousness that rests within us, not so much as seeking the righteousness of everyone else and where they stand in righteous. You first have to identify righteous in you. And if you have not, this is the time in which you need to really focus on the righteousness that is made up of the Most High Yah. We want to find righteous in everything people are saying, people are doing, how people are acting, how the world is rumbling. We trying to find and we trying to speak on the righteousness within any and everything that's possible, but never search our own selves to see if righteousness measure within us. Righteousness is the Most High Yah, first of all. And I want to let you know, the righteousness shines. It is a light that cannot be hidden. Righteousness is not something you can say that you have. It's not something you can just walk around and desire. It's not something that you can teach and preach. It's not something that just automatically come to you and it become who you are. I heard the Most High Yah say unto me at this moment, narrow is the gate that leads one place, and that's to righteousness. And very few, very few, said the Most High, shall find therein. So while we're chasing everyone else's righteousness, we need to find out about the righteousness that we say resting within us. You see, because as the Most High is saying, very few shall find the righteousness that is consists of him. You see, so we need to search within ourselves to see what is actually taking place within ourselves, learning who we are. Right now in this day and time, in this day and this time, because everybody living on day and time, I'm on this day. I'm really kind of afraid of something. I'm afraid of that hour, because when we get to that hour in which the Most High spoke of in time past, we are in deep trouble. Believe it or not, in this day, we're in deep trouble, because these are the days that were prophesied in that day, in that day, in that day, in that day. Those are days of warnings. But when it gets to that hour, you all, it's no turning back. That's just it. So you better find out. You not bet, but you better search righteousness in yourself and stop trying to measure righteousness in someone else, whether they white, whether they black, whether they good or whether they're bad in your eyesight. Find righteousness in you. Focus on the righteousness that's rests in you, because the Most High has not left a word with anyone to go search the righteousness in others. He didn't do that. He only wants us to know that we are walking in what is righteous, because he said very few, and very few shall find therein. So I say unto you, be careful out there trying to find righteousness in certain family members, righteousness in friends, righteousness in your husbands and in your husband, and righteousness in your wives, and trying to find righteousness in your children. Because once you find righteousness in you, you can measure it within yourself and know that righteousness is not something people can claim. Righteousness is not something people can say, oh, I'm righteous, or she's righteous, or he's righteous. It's not something, it's a feeling that within you, an assurance, a liberty that rests therein that says, I want, I desire, I hope. Faith is going to carry me to what is righteous in Yah. And when it carry you to these things, and you graft these things within you, then shall you see righteousness. I want to explain something to you all. A lot of people, they do a lot of studying on righteousness and fail to understand or to be able to identify righteousness. Righteousness is not something they could precept and line and be able to teach you or tell you what it is as far as their standpoint. Because a lot of teaching on these platforms are personal opinions, personal wisdom, personal knowledge, personal understanding, personal emotions, personal feelings. None of it rests in righteousness that is spirit and that is truth. You see, there's a big difference as far as south is to north. That's the difference in righteousness in Yah and the righteousness within self, as far as your own understanding, your own wisdom, your own knowledge. That's stuff that you feed your flesh, and then it become what you think is righteous, and it's not. Righteous has been already identified to Sister Deborah at its fullness in so many ways, but it has to rest in spirit and in truth. It has to rest in the narrow gate. It has to. And see, another thing about righteousness, you're not going to find righteousness on these devil platform with the multitude. See, they thinking a lot, really feel and think that that's righteousness because an individual are teaching. They got their Bibles and they getting into it, they quoting it, and they reading Torah, mastering Hebrew, mastering precept, line, and little here. Everybody are really caught up in the things in which their eyes call righteous, in which their ears hear as righteous. But see, righteous is what is spirit and truth. Yah has identified it as a place where a narrow gate and very few shall find therein. If a person stand in the broad gate and they're leading the multitude on these platforms in a broad gate of understanding them and what they're saying to be righteous, then what happens to those who subscribe and follow? They go into the broad gate. Be wise. Why can you say that, Deborah? Because the narrow that leads to righteousness is of Yah and not of man. The glory is not given to man. The honor is not given to man. And they don't understand when you're dealing with subscribers and likes and praise and uplifting and boosting you. You have become their God, G-O-D. as lowercase. This is the example that he has informed us over and over and over as a nation of people that have always wanted a God that they can see, a God that they can hear, a God that they can follow. You see? And that's what many 99.9 on these platforms are to the people that listen to them. But Sister Deborah was saying to you, that too is vain and vast. It is not righteousness. Righteousness falls under the narrow gate, okay, that leads to righteousness. So it's going to always be a place that's narrow, okay, that very few shall find. And I love him for putting that there, because we do get caught up in thinking that I'm going to the page where everybody's going. You're going to the broad gate. That's it. That's it. And it is the way that leadeth to destruction. And very many shall go therein, because they're going in what the flesh of man is teaching. What man is teaching out of his flesh. He has no, man and women, they have no spirit and truth. So therefore they follow them thinking that, okay, this is where spirit and truth rest. I'm going to give you another example. I was reading some time ago of what made Abraham be counted. See, he was counted righteous because he was the seed that was sent down. But I love the way the Most High set it up. He was counted righteous in a vision. He wasn't counted righteous in his natural setting, just being in himself. He was counted righteous in the vision. Go back, read it. So when Yah said that Abraham was counted righteous, he counted him righteous while in the vision. That's beautiful, because that's telling me